So this piece here from Jason Burt of The Telegraph said, Real Madrid have asked Liverpool to release Trent Alexander-Arnold for free so we can play in the Club World Cup group stages. The Spanish club have not made a financial offer to Liverpool and simply hope they will relent and allow the right back to join them. So then we have ESPN saying Liverpool are demanding €1 million or £840,000 to let Trent leave early and play in the Club World Cup. So there's two parts of this that I'd like to discuss. First of all, the money. The money, look, if he's released early, should we get some money? Yes, I think we should. But the point that I'd like to make here is I'm fucking sick of Trent. I'm absolutely sick of the narrative being about Trent when we were playing Arsenal, about the second half, about the parade, about the title celebrations. I have a pain in my arse listening to Trent's name being involved in everything that we should be celebrating right now, and it being a reason as to why it might not be as fun or as enjoyable as it should be. So for me, I would say, do you want to go to Madrid early, Trent? Okie dokes, mate. Off you pop there now. We'll release your contract right now. Away you go to Madrid and be done with him. End of him, not have to listen to him again, not have to look at him again, not have to deal with any of this absolutely annoying crap anymore. That's what I do, because I am sick to death of it. I'm sick to death of Liverpool fans being looked down upon again. I'm sick to death of this, isn't he, poor little Trenty boy, poor little Trent just wants to be loved. In my mind, he absolutely rinsed the club. In my mind, he dragged this situation out, manipulated it in his favour. And again, the timing of that video just before the Arsenal game, like what the actual fuck? It does my head in. Have you not seen the stuff that says, oh, so you'll never walk alone, only applies when you're at the club? You've all probably seen varying amounts of that post. Why is it when you'll never walk alone, it's only applied to fans? Why is it that all the adulation, love and upbringing that Trent was given at Liverpool Football Club, that you'll never walk alone doesn't apply to him towards us and the club? Why is that? Why is it always just a one-way street where players can do whatever the fuck they want, look after their own interests, be self-serving, and we're supposed to smile and applaud them? If you want to smile and applaud them, by all means, absolutely no issue with that. But if you don't want to, and you want to speak out about it, stop undermining us. Stop trying to make out like we're all pathetic. Stop trying to make out like we're some scumbag of a fan base. It's just nonsense. All of it. He's looked after him. And if he doesn't like a few boos, tough shit. Tough fucking shit. That's it. That's football. That's life. You don't get to have everyone tell you you're great all the time and everything going your way. You made your decision. You were happy to make it. Now deal with the consequences of it, whatever that may be, and shut the fuck up and get on with it. Because I'm absolutely fed up of it all. And I'm sure I'm not the only Liverpool fan who feels like the last week has been all about Trent. Not about celebrating the team winning the title. Not about maybe beating Arsenal at the time when we wanted to do that. All about Trent and what he wanted and what's best for him and how he should be received. I'm done with it. It's just bullshit. Do you guys feel the same about the Trent stuff? Like, I'm not saying he wasn't within his rights to do what he did. I've been honest about that all the way through. But I'm sick of being told that we should be grateful. I'm sick of being told about everything he done for the club. Where's the other side of the debate? Where's the side that the fans pour their hearts and soul into supporting Trent? That helped big him up because he was a local boy. He leveraged all that for dough when he was here. And nobody had any problem with it. But when he goes and people suddenly feel a little bit annoyed by it or heartbroken by it or frustrated by his actions, we're supposed to just sit there and smile? That's not the real world. So, again, it just does my head in. It's all been about him. All been about him. Is he going to be at the parade? What's the celebration at the end of the season going to be like? Will he get booed again? I'm done with it all. It's just... I have a real bee in my bonnet about football fans being ridiculed of any club. And football fans being held to a standard that others aren't. Ultimately, he looked after him and his family's interests, which he's entitled to do, but we should be allowed to express our displeasure however we may see fit. Aaron Gaza said Trent's PR team needs to be fired. For someone who's quiet all these years, he picked an awful time to make his announcement. Yep. And then a few hours later, Madrid were on the phone talking about releasing him. So we as Liverpool fans now have to sit back on edge, about whether we get to enjoy the last two games. Will Trent come on? How will the crowd react? The camera's going to pan to Trent every fucking 2 minutes of every game. It's just all tiring, and it all takes away from our enjoyment. We didn't get to celebrate it properly in COVID times for various and obvious reasons. And now we also have this little lad looming over any celebration because, you know, he's decided to run off and join Real Madrid. And apparently now we all have to stand there and clap the leaving great who rinsed the football club of a fee and fucks off for nothing. It just baffles me. Adam said, in my opinion, the money for Wirtz says Trent is a pain to FSG too. So I do feel like Liverpool are stung by this Trent move. I definitely do. You can even tell it in the language of the way they posted about him leaving. But it's just so condescending to see people just look down their nose again and tell us all. Like even Stephen Warnock. I was watching him the other night and he said, I was at the game and I heard people booing, and he said, I turned around and I thought, really? You're booing one of your own? Well, he's not though, is he? That's the whole point. He's one of your own until he isn't. And why is that only a two-way street? Why is there nobody going, yeah, Trent probably didn't handle this well, or Trent very much manipulated this situation? It's all just been rinse the fans and cheap shots at Liverpool over his selfish actions. F Trent, no better than the noisy neighbours. Yep. DTM said, I hate footballing as a profession being portrayed as altruistic when it's one of the best financially rewarded in the world. It is. It is. And I just hate, like, I hate good guys who make shit decisions and get called out for it, being given a pass. So the Hendo waffle about when he was going to Saudi, about what that was all about. Nobody believes that shit. But because Hendo was such a good guy when he was at Liverpool and, you know, such a clean-cut guy, we all had to be told and pretend that it was something other than it was. And it's the same with Trent. These guys are happy to make millions off the local boy or the clean-cut guy or the, you know, the hero done good. And they're happy to leverage that with sob stories from Adidas about their upbringing and all this shit. Always being Liverpool, blah, 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 money, money, money. And then when that's not enough money, all of a sudden, off you pop, and all of that shit that you were put up onto a pedestal for, we don't get to throw that back at you. Is there any circumstance fans would be okay with him leaving? FSG probably wouldn't have let him leave at any reasonable price. I can't speak for everyone, mate. You know, I can't. But for me, certainly would have stung a lot less if there was a 60, 70, 80 million pound transfer fee there, right? Because at least then the guy that you've produced through the academy system has rewarded the club for that education. And yes, look, he's contributed to our success. Of course he has. Trent's a very good footballer. That's never been in question. But I certainly feel that leaving for free isn't a great look. I can't speak for everybody else though, you know, each for their own. But for me, a 70 million quid transfer fee definitely would have helped. Yeah, it would have, because you're like, okay, he's off then, but at least the club have got money out of it. But this leaving for free and to Madrid, it feels snide.